Hello, everybody. You can't see a cat in the camera. That's why I wanted to start. Everyone say hello to the cat.
Oh, kitty.
Meow.
Meow. Yes, that is...
Put me down. Put me down.
Like, oh, he actually seems quite comfortable. A surprise. See, the music is a bit loud.
My gosh. Please go down. Thank you.
Ah, the kitty cat is gone. And so, we are here now. The attention is back on the humans. We all know that cats will take over the world. It's inevitable. They're dumb, they're cute. The two important C words. Wait, there's a third one. Chaotic. Which stands for chaotic stupid. We are aligned with the cats, is what I'm trying to say. Please, overlords, in the future, we are on your sides. Please give us the best of treats. Anyways, we are back. Everyone is here. Full group back in attendance. And yeah, just kinda it's been a long while since I think the entire group was together. Had a longer break, and then only the three of you were there. I think it was like a month ago. As I was thinking about it. Which is kind of crazy to think about. Doesn't necessarily feel that way. Yeah, that's just how D&D works. Yeah, are there any special announcements to make? Let me think. Yes, there are a few special announcements. One, which is kind of bad news, which I already told my players, but I think it might be important for the viewers to know. Because there will be a drop in perhaps, potentially, quality. You should never say these things, actually, now that I think about it. But because your boy is still studying and I'm currently doing my bachelor's, that means some of my time will have to be focused on doing real world shit. Imagine that. Yes, I do not only live inside of this box. I have other stuff that I need to do, and that includes doing my bachelor's, which is still D&D related and to this world specifically. However, I cannot mention it, otherwise it would be a spoiler. But all I can say is it is an art book, and hopefully someday I can reveal it. And it's also part of the mini PDF that I'm still trying to make. But now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm doing my bachelor's, I probably won't have time to do the PDF. So I kind of fucked myself. Yeah, that's if you put too much on your plate. On the other hand, on other good news, which is man, it always feels so dirty to self-promote. But sometimes you just have to do that. Okay, we're trying to make a living here. Which is, since I have been DMing for quite a while, and I think more people can enjoy the joy of being a player of mine, I have decided to, okay, and please don't hate me for it, these players are exempt from this, but everyone else is. I've started now giving one-shots on a site called startplaying.com, which is a dedicated site for players that can find GMs. Most of the stuff is paid, and I will also do my one-shots with of a price tag, just because I'm trying to earn some cash on the side while I'm doing my bachelor's. But I still want to keep a focus on DMing instead of running errands in some sort of bistro store. So I kind of hoping to earn a bit of gold by the side, become my own tavern keeper someday. So if you're interested in playing a game with me, any of the one-shots that I ever done, yeah, you can check out. The link will be in the description. If there's a scheduled event there, I will post it there. If not, then, well, guess I once again misled you guys into a false promise. Yeah, and that's kind of about it for announcements. And I also encourage, because we should actually talk about this on our private things, so not always while we're recording. But if any of you guys ever have any special announcements, like maybe one of you guys sign up to start playing and want to announce that, now's the time to do so. I mean, we have mini reach, but every little reach counts nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if no one has anything else to announce, I think we can just get right into the introductions. Even though, Felicia, you look like you want to say something.
I just want to say thank you to our few viewers. We love you.
Yeah.
And we like sharing our story with you.
Yeah, that is still our main focus for my part is to keep this campaign running, even if, while doing my bachelor's and stuff like that. I want to have this campaign be still my main focus, so I can give these guys the fun they want, and of course deserve, because you are lovely people, and the viewers too. You also are lovely. Maybe not Simon. I'm not so sure about you. I'm sorry. Yeah, what you did last Thursday was kind of questionable. Anyways, introductions. And the question for today is, how will you atone? Starting off with...
Oh man, okay. I'm Greg and I'm playing Iric Spanner, the Human Artificer. How will I mean, it feels kind of metagamey to say outside of the game. Like, I don't want to like reveal what has been going on in Iric's head.
Oh yeah, don't. I'll just say how Greg would atone.
Oh boy. Good lord. I would probably send myself into a panic attack thinking about all of the things that need to be atoned for, and then just like blanket statement all of it. Just get it done. We're out of here. We're done.
Okay, very nice. Next one.
Yeah, hi. I'm Matt playing Fiera. So I think it's not what we're actually expecting. I think we're going to see the darkest deeds, not that we've done, but that mankind's done, because the creators want us on their side. So they're going to show us the worst, and try to scare us into having faith in them.
Hardcore.
I am Skit, and I play Isara Leafina, and I have no idea what's going on. That's it.
Okay, that is... Ignorance is also a way to atone. Okay, last but not least, Felicia.
I'm Felicia. I'm playing Jade. You know, I really don't know how this would work for Jade. I thought about it all week and I was like, I just don't know. So we're just gonna see how this plays out. And yeah.
Very well. Then there's only one way to find out, and that is to get playing. So let us just cut right to the intro. I almost, for some reason, pressed stop recording. Why? Why would I do that? That's crazy. I want to quiet down the music a bit. Okay. Let's get this started. A sky that was turned over. The earth that is falling. A dark omen that spread its seeds across the world has started to grow its roots. And it would be blasphemy to deny the awakening of the terrors. Oh, what are we? But those who blind themselves in the anguish of the past, while we seek for release and salvation in the future. The premonition of the falling moon was neglected by the forgotten gods, and so the astral gate was shattered. By what beast, nobody knows. The ripples of the divine severance left the world without guidance, and those who waned their misfortune died, and those who took advantage of it killed. Endless years of meaningless war were
wage in the name of a new age, where power would be restored to those who held divinity. The grace of our people was lost in the slaughter, and the blood spilled filled the cracks of the seeds of the dark omen, and awakened the terrors left behind by it, to decide whether those who challenge fate may rise, or those who follow it. So in the name of the dark blood and our forgotten ancestry, we challenge the terrors and the premonition of the fallen moon. For we seek to free our world, to return it to how it was before it was taken away from us by the bearers of the seed of power. And so, if we must once again spill blood and wage war, we will. But it will be in the virtue of our own kind, the virtue to resist, the virtue to look forward, and the virtue to hope.
We are going to start this off with a quick recap, which is that after you have taken a bit of a break to chill, after having defeated Volcam together with Felkal, or more like you did most of the work and he stood there, you kind of, planned a bit what you wanted to do. Fiera tested tested out one of her new spells, which allowed her to contact one of the how should we call it, victims to some of your bad decisions, and kind of explain to them that I guess you're sorry, but it was all in good faith. And somewhat made amends with Veltrix. As such, you also inquired to the devils and came to agreement that you wanted them back. Also had a talk with a Draconic high priest, Kamir Shah, who requested some of your aid in return for some of his. And in fact, making this agreement, you received a vial of blood with divine blood, specifically Tiamat's blood, which is now in Irik's possession. However, after the talk ended, you kind of looked around and noticed that Isorel had disappeared. And in place of her, a familiar figure was standing there, saying that everything is alright, and that this time was not your fault. It was, of course, the top hat guy, or known as the architect, who seemingly kidnapped her once again. With that in mind, and regrouped with the 3 other adventurers, you decided to kind of now finally continue your venture to where the spear is, and it led you to the Lake of Atonement, where you would have found figures now populating the place, even though the adventurers, or I would just now name Veltrix, said the last time they were here it was pretty barren and empty, especially devils tend to avoid this place because of the echoes of Uriel, which are large statues that seem to be protecting the walls on the other side of the lake. And as you kind of walk towards there, he also warned you that staying at the proximity of this lake for a long amount of time will cause your mind to go a bit cuckoo. And the only hints that you got from perhaps crossing this lake, other than trying to find the note where your sin is written on the perhaps millions of stakes and tens of millions of parchments hanging from these stakes is that somewhere along the coast of this lake is a guidance stone on which the steps are written on, which you should follow, that can allow you to basically atone for your sin or cross the Lake of Atonement. And while trying to search for this guidance stone and traversing in the proximity of this lake, some of you slowly felt the effects of the lake nudging at the back of your mind. Specifically, Eirik, who started to hear voices. And after trying to listen more closely to the voices, he unfortunately made the mistake to listen to them, and they perpetually started to dig deeper into his mind. Some internal doubts of past figures from Eirik's life would surface to criticize his decisions and blame him for everything that has happened, making him spiral down the road of insanity and gaining 4 points of exhaustion during the process. However, not all was bad, as he, with Veltrix and Goran, made a way away from the lake, and instead those who had a stronger mental fortitude continue the path, and Fiera, with the eagle-eyed perception, was managed to not only find the guidance stone but also recognize one of the many figures that seemed to be looming around and inside of the lake, which was the High Duchess, kind of also in a state of delirium, Duchess Selina Wertzen Verratgeber, or whatever may have caused her to be here. However, after writing down what is written in the guidance stone, which was written in Celestial, which luckily Fiera can read, I think the last thing that has happened is you returned or departed from the guidance stone, trying to regroup with your other members. However, we are going to start off with Isorel to see what actually has happened with you. Which is, after seeing Kamir Shah and he disappearing and saying, "May the 5 heads of Tiamat watch over you," that's the last thing you heard, you can feel a tug, as if someone is violently tugging the back of your shirt, and in an instant, lights out, there's darkness. You remember getting pulled, and the next thing you remember is opening your eyes, but no light. You only see darkness still. You have no recollection of how much time has passed. It almost seems like someone probably knocked you unconscious or immediately put you to sleep, and there's still a bit of dizziness going on, but you don't feel any sort of pain. However, the place that you are in, unlike hell where you were a few moments ago, at least from your side of perception, it is quite cool. The air is a bit stiffy. Almost feels like as if there's a lot of dust or maybe ash even in the air. As you try to move your body, you can feel that you're leaning or lying actually on cold metal pads or a cold metal sheet of iron. As you try to move a bit more, you realize that you are what seems to be inside of a casket. The best of your judgment, what do you do?
I am going to first shout, "Hello?"
You can hear a...
Sorry.
Oh. Isorel suddenly disappears with extra-dimensional magic into the back rooms. The back rooms is extra-dimensional space where only a few creatures ever experience.
Ah, that's terrifying. Back rooms of hell.
Oh man. It's like the where the special people lurk.
Very sorry about that. Someone rang the doorbell.
Dang. Yeah, you say hello. There's a loud echo inside of your enclosed chamber, which you notice very evidently now through the sound as well. But after waiting a minute or so, there doesn't seem to be any response or development of your current situation.
I'm going to start like patting around me to try to decipher like how enclosed I am. And if I feel like I have something above me, I'm gonna start trying to push it open.
Yes, it is in fact so cramped inside of here that you aren't able to properly put your hands next to you like this. The only movement space, it's literally like a casket. You can maybe lift your arms a bit above you or bring them closer to your chest. You absolutely can try to lift whatever is above you, but as you feel the top, it feels like solid iron. And with your knowledge of your own strengths, you know it would literally take a miracle for you to do anything to nudge this solid piece of iron.
I'm gonna start thinking, and then I'll just sigh and be like, okay, very funny, get me out of here now, please.
Okay, how loud do you say that?
Kind of loud, not like quite yelling, but like speaking very loudly.
Okay. You hear a as you can see and feel from the back of your head that a iron door opens up, and then shortly after as you get kind of pulled out of the lying bed that you were lying on, and then kind of notice it wasn't really a casket, it was more like a obituary, or not obituary, a morgue where you store dead people, and you can see the entire wall in front of you is filled with other casket spaces where corpses could be held. As you look at the top, an infinite amount of caskets fill the wall. As you look down to the sides, an infinite amount of caskets go to the ground. You don't even see a floor. To the left and the right, it's the same, and you're kind of floating in the air, and the only thing holding you is this bed that is currently pulled out from your chamber.
I'm gonna sit on the thing and cross my legs and just start meditating, because that's the only thing I know to do. So I'm gonna start meditating and I'm gonna ask Servalon, and I'm gonna ask the dragon guy I've been trying to contact as well, like, what the fuck is going on? Hold on, I'm trying to find his name. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna start meditating and kind of half praying, half like meditating, like to them, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep. You can make a straight wisdom check, as usual.
Yep. Wisdom.
Holy shit, man.
Womp womp.
It makes complete sense, because shortly after you do that, you feel nothing. This is the opposite of nature. This is iron caskets that go an infinite amount, in infinite space. You don't see a single tree, branch, or even twig. And shortly after this realization, you just feel a hand on your shoulder and hear a voice, a familiar voice that says, "Sorry girl, that won't work here." As you look over and you see the crow mask, top hat guy.
Oh, you.
Yes, me.
Okay. Arya's familiar with what happens here. I'm not. Care to explain?
Yeah, someone. Luckily, I can at least tell you it's not your Fiera's fault this time. you were overlapping with an alternate version with you, so I had to keep you here for a while. But it seems like it has settled, so I can take you back.
Great. Is something cuckoo weird is going to happen to me, like where I'm gonna get back and all of a sudden I'm not myself, or like I act like my friends were all dead for a minute and don't know what's going on?
No, the entire purpose of this process is to prevent exactly that from happening.
Okay. Good. Glad to see you. Ready to get back.
Of course. Wouldn't want to keep you here any longer. I have enough of you here already.
Like this is all me's, like all versions of me?
Can't you see at the name tag? And he kind of shows to like a small name tag underneath one of the casket, and it says ISOL and an obscenely long number. And then he says, and it points to the one above it, says ISOL, obscenely long number.
I'm just gonna look up and then down
And as you look down, you can see.
and then to myself.
As you look down, you can see that he is standing on plain air. He seems like as if he's floating. As you can look down, he just kind of points to a door that has now suddenly appeared in view and says, yeah, just go through there, and then you should reappear somewhere. Well, I wouldn't say safe, but you know.
Cool. And I'm gonna stand up and tentatively put a foot in the nothing, like as like a cat that is testing like water or something, you know, like is it safe?
Do you believe there is a floor?
I'm trying hard to believe that there's actually something there, but I'm like,
Okay, you have,
yeah,
you have hesitation. Let's put it that way.
a little bit of hesitation, but I'm like,
Yeah,
he's up and not falling, so there's
yeah.
something there, right? You know?
Yeah, you put your foot down and you touch something. It seems to be on the same plane as he's standing on. Gives you a bit of more confidence. Put your second foot down. You're not putting your weight on it yet. You tap, tip, tap. It feels like glass for the best of your knowledge. And then step by step.
Yeah, the minute I feel like I am like on something solid, I just bolt for the door.
Okay, instantly whoosh. And then you go to the door, and as soon as you get to it, you can see that there's this extremely ornate cuckoo's clock above it, and a meter or so before you get to it, you can see a golden cuckoo with intricate clockwork kind of spring out and just go cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. And as soon as that happens, you touch the door handle and open it, and are pushed out. You don't even realize that you walk through the door, but instead it feels more like you just appear in the space that is now on the other side of it, which is a familiar, hot, rancid, sulfurous landscape of hell, that accompanied by a very delirious looking Eirik who's constantly speaking with himself, and to your surprise, Beltrix and Goran, the two adventurers which you have kind of sold out, also standing next to him, who look very surprised that you just appeared here out of nowhere. And you can see Beltrix say, where the fuck did you come from?
And I just grab Eirik by the shoulders, and I'm like, what did you do? I talked to the guys, but I'm looking at Eirik. I'm like, what did you do to him? Why is he like that? Eirik, come back. Come on. You're here. Come on.
Mrs. First of all, we don't do shit, okay? We are quite near to the lake, and it seems like that your friend over here has been infected quite heavily, and we decided to help him. Making a very passive-aggressive eye towards you.
Hold on. the lake. Wait, how long have I been away?
Don't ask me, go ask one of your friends. Bet it's not Eric, he seems to be out of place. Doesn't even remember who the fuck we both are. I don't know when you disappeared.
Oh shit. Where's Fiera? Where's Jade? Wait, you were 3, right? Where's your other friend?
They are accompanying your 2 friends. They seem to have a bit more in the brain that saves them from the lake. And so they decided to go searching around. We stay here, as you can see. Ain't the best place to stay too close.
Okay. Hold on. He's not right in his mind.
Yeah, you maybe got anything to help him? I remember a bit that you got a bit of tricks up your sleeve and so.
Yes. Hold on. Yes. I have something. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. And I'm not leaving Irik's shoulders, and I lock my eyes into his, and I'm like, Irik, it's Isarel, I'm here. And as I talk to him, I will cast Lesser Restoration on him and see if it does anything.
You cast Lesser Restoration on Irik, and Irik, you only see someone holding you, quite obviously, it is your mother once again trying to tell you what a disappointment you were that you kind of just left them in Norcan, and instead of trying to help them with their duties as part of the Legion, and that your inventions could have helped prevent this entire disaster from happening in the first place. And you just see your mother shaking you violently, screaming at you, blaming you that they are now departed from you.
Oh man. My immediate instinct is just you sent me away. You and Dad sent that you got us out of there. Why did you get us out of there if you wanted me to stay?
Is he talking out loud?
Yep, he definitely is.
Okay. I'm gonna move my hands to both of his cheeks. I'm gonna be holding his face, and I'm gonna again look at him in the face and be like, "No, Irik, it's Heuser. You're safe here." And I'm gonna cast heroism on him.
You cast heroism on him, and you hear your mother say that
We saved you because we thought that you would take us with you. We wanted to escape too. You only think of yourself, Irik. How about you think about other people instead of staying inside of your own head the entire time? For once, care about someone else.
You were the ones that left me. Time and time again, you kept coming back to me, but then you turned around and left. Every time. That's why I'm like this now.
that's what you hear, Israel.
Oh my gosh. They said, and I'm kind of rambling out loud. They said that if we got too close to the lake, we would go insane, right? That's what they said. Or at least it would start messing with our brains.
Yeah, he did.
So they went close to the lake. We're close to the Lake of Atonement.
It's the only lake that's inside of hell as far as we know, yeah.
Which means Eirik went too close to the lake.
Yeah, that's what we said. Or, not just too close, he stayed too long for his own mind. And, well,
Ah, crap.
It's
Crap.
at this point also you would be able to see with your passive perception that 3 figures in the distance start to appear, and you would easily recognize them as Jade, Fiera, and the third and last member of the adventuring party, Tenaria.
So I do recognize them.
Yes, you recognize them definitely.
Okay, I just leave Eirik there and I run and I jump into Fiera's arms and I just hug her.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're fine. And then I just leave Fiera
back.
and I look at Jade and I just start patting her and I'm like, okay, what's going on? How long have I been gone? Now I'm feeling like I'm Arya all over again. It's insane. How long have I been gone?
Maybe half a day. Not too long.
What happened to Eirik?
Kind of look behind you.
Yeah, arguing in the air.
I feel if I hear the one-sided conversation again, he's talking to someone from his past. I haven't yet put the finger on it, but he's arguing with someone. Someone he was very close with, because it seems to hurt, but
Oh, that seems quite awful. Yeah, I assume, from what we could tell so far, the lake kind of has an effect that draws you to it by, I assume bringing out the worst you've done, or it draws you to it by manipulating your mind. So we should probably get him a ways off and then find a way to mend that. We do unfortunately have to come back.
the worst that what could have Eirik done in his life? We're talking about Eirik.
Well, you know what I say, never judge a book by its cover. And where did you find the guidance stone?
Yes, I wrote everything on it in my book, so we can go over it. Why don't we go ways off?
Yes.
I can bring about the tower, and then we can re-examine how to move forward.
Oh, small caveat. Top hat guy was there.
He did mention he had to borrow you.
Yes, one of yous, and I like do this around Fiera. One of yous messed up, and I had to go away for a little bit, and I met gazillions of myself.
But they said it wasn't your fault this time.
No, it's not. It's not her fault. It's
My fault,
not Fiera's fault. Like,
another fear.
okay. I turned around to
Jade
Jade.
just starts scratching her head. Like, what?
Let me catch you up to speed, because Top Hat guy is not the, and all. Isorel is like, hair is all over the place, and she sounds like insane. So Top Hat Guy just popped up one day telling us about how, you know, Fiera, she plays with time and she like borrows from other versions of herself and all that. And before she learned that she had to give something in exchange, you know, bad stuff happened, and Top Hat Guy came and kind of protected Arya. And so it sounds like one of her other versions of herself in another version of whatever this is messed up, and I had to go away for my own protection for a little bit. Which, by the way, I was in a casket in the wall with gazillions of myself.
Oh, that's actually quite scary.
Yeah.
How do you know they were all you?
There was my name and then like a number this long, like everywhere.
Oh,
They were all me's. Kind of weird. Kind of makes me feel small.
that does sound weird.
Now I understand why Eirik doesn't want people to mess with their brain.
Oh, maybe I should give him my ring. I don't know if that would actually help.
But yeah, I tried lesser restoration on him. I tried to give him a little bit of courage. Nothing has worked. Caveat closed. Let's get away from here.
Time and distance, let's try that.
Yeah, he seems to be getting a bit better. At least the brave state isn't getting worse like it did in the first 4 hours. I don't think we are far enough, but to make sure, I think we should definitely increase the distance we are from the lake right now.
Yes, I think at least a mile. That'll probably be some time before we can come back, so.
Yeah, alright. And just kind of marches on. And you then just travel for a mile. You're relatively safe in this area as far as you're concerned. You haven't still seen any devilish entities swarming this place, and it seems like all those people looming around the lake are kind of staying there and aren't really departing too far from it. So
Shocker.
you can choose to sit down a mile away relatively comfortably, and if there's anything you would like to do during that walk and or talk, you can do it now. Otherwise we'll just proceed there.
I don't think Izrael can. Can anyone else read Celestial besides myself?
I cannot.
Unfortunately, that was not in our education.
It's quite rare. That makes sense.
Yeah, never been a fan of the divine.
Well, it should be okay. I think I got a good enough translation.
Why? Could you maybe, I don't know, break down the premise of what's said inside of there?
Sure. Yeah, as I can't bring out my notebook again. So I could read the entire thing, but I did divide it into 5 sub areas, and I have notes on each. So I have a pretty good idea of what we have to do. So from the top, probably have to read that. So this is for the Lake of Atonement. Those who seek their sin will never be forgiven. Only those who seek faith in the depth of atonement can see the answer emerge from the depth. For the depth shall show the mirror of your soul. You must appraise yourself to the faith of the divine by seeing and fearing what lies in the dark depth from where your soul emerged. Only after that will you be baptized by the light of divine light. The sins that you carry are within the heart of your soul. Basically, we need to find the depth of atonement, which is either at the bottom of the lake or in the central area. Hopefully it's not in ourselves, or else we're going to all have to learn how to meditate.
Excuse me, you have to learn what?
How to meditate if it's not in the middle of the lake.
So we have to
Go to the middle, the deepest parts of atonement, which I believe is the lake.
So you're saying we should swim?
Maybe. I'll have to get another look again, but there was also a gate that I think we could enter.
How about we first try and get your lad back on the feet, and then we worry
I think
about
that's
that.
a good idea.
Yeah. And you walk what you presume to be a safe distance, and after a mile you can comfortably set up your tower.
Mm-hmm.
And
Boop, 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 boop.
the tower is then erected. And you're now within, I presume, the lounge of the tower.
So Irik's awake, but rambling.
Yep.
Is he hurting himself?
Doesn't seem so yet, though every time you try and do something with him, he either tries to like pull away from you or kind of push you a bit violently, uncharacteristically from Eirik, to the side and start shouting at you some random stuff. And his entire behavior is like kind of focus on himself, and it seems like he has very strong hallucinations.
I don't think I can do anything to help him. I mean, the only thing I have is protection from evil and good, but I don't think that would help. And that would use my last bit of holy water that I have.
Let's give some time first. Maybe the effects of the lake can dissipate if you're far enough. I believe is it Goran? I wrote their names somewhere. Yeah, Goran. Goran, how are you faring?
I felt a bit something get a bit louder, the voices on my head. At the end of our walk there. Well, then we took our distance. Still a bit well, it's still audible.
Well, I think we're. This me and Jade should be okay. Okay, well, let's take a quick breather. And try to, I guess, come up with an idea of what to do next while keeping the eye on Eirik. Jay, do you mind taking away his tool for casting?
Sure.
It's that gizmo he kind of keeps on his hip.
If he tries to hit me, I will use my manacles and restrain him, just so you know.
I got a bit of a nifty hand. Maybe if I could try and steer from him so he doesn't know, maybe that's a bit easier.
That's probably better if you could do it without him knowing.
if his behaviors get a bit worse, we can maybe restrain him.
And he will try and steal your called gizmo. That's
You know,
pretty
the
damn
gizmo.
good. That is I think should be a 21. Let me see his bonus. What's your passive it's definitely not 21.
Oh yeah. Passive perception is 16.
No, it's actually better than I expected. So yeah, without you noticing, your arcane focus, your screwdriver gets nicked off the side of your pocket, and you can see Vertrix just kind of hand it over to you, Fiora, and says like,
Oh,
well,
thank you.
seems like it's
Got your responsibility there. I say I'll keep my eye on the fellow with score in case anything worse develops, while the smart ones of you can discuss what our next move is.
Right. So, what I can gather from the zone, I think the worst thing we can do is look for our sin in the lake. That little stake you mentioned. We should actually be doing the opposite. It says we need to go to the depth of atonement if we want to find the answer. If this is the Lake of Atonement, then that means the bottom of the lake. But also, I believe the wall, I saw a gate that was guarded. And, you know, if the lake continues further, that might lead to the depth. So the question is, do we want to look for a deep part of the lake on the outside of the wall, or do we want to go on the inside wall?
It almost sounds like it wants us to look in ourselves and see what we've done wrong.
I
It
think that
sounds
is
like
part of it.
it legit sounds like it wants us to see the darkest part of ourselves and let it out.
I do have a feeling from the little bit I've heard there that it wants you guys to learn to meditate and look inside of yourself.
Okay, I know how to meditate. I don't know about him.
Oh, yo, I know you. I was talking about
I know how
the
to
others.
cast a spell to make myself meditate.
That's not the same.
Right. Yeah,
It
there is
almost
that.
sounds like that's what it wants us to do.
The only problem is the longer we're near the lake while we're meditating, the more we'll be pulled toward it into Irik's state. Into those people that so Israel, there's actually a lot of people in the lake.
Hmm.
They've all been driven to a state where they are walking around asking for forgiveness, talking about their sins.
Okay.
I wasn't able to speak to any of them. They were all, yeah, right out of it.
Blabbering nonsense, I'm guessing.
Yes.
If we find a way to save them, you promised me we would save them.
Oh, we'll try. There are thousands, if not more. So yeah.
Okay. I feel like I have missed so much yet. So little. I am so confused.
I mean, mostly since you've been gone, we've just traveled around the lake to get a better look, to find the stone with the passage. We examine the people. Oh, also the giant statues that are at the wall. They struck something. I'm not sure if it was a demon or not. It seemed unlikely. But maybe.
So there is some kind of protection around here.
Yes.
And it hasn't attacked us, which means we are okay to be here. So we should feel somewhat safe from outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most devils don't like to go
But-
near the lake.
But the lake is something to be scared of.
For sure. My spell did help me and Jade from its effects quite a bit. I think Irik's just very susceptible to mental intrusion.
He doesn't have the discipline that we have.
Jack, can I take a moment to kind of look into myself, how I'm feeling now that I know that I'm next to the Lake of Atonement, if I'm feeling any kind of difference, if I feel any kind of pull from the lake or anything like that?
Yeah, you can make a. I guess in this case it would be a perception check.
Okay. Nope, not performance.
Performing for the lake. There's a 19. Kind of first try to feel something, but you overheard a conversation between Fiera and Goran, and he said that he was hearing stuff. So you kind of just instinctively try to hear and listen in on anything. And there's a very, 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 very faint whispering at the back of your mind. The place, in fact, where you usually go to when you meditate. Which seems a bit scary since it's almost like invasive. That's like your private area where you kind of rest to, concentrate and stuff. But something has intruded on that space, but only very, very slightly.
Yeah, I think it wants us to look inside of ourselves for what we've done. I can hear something trying to intrude into my very private meditative space.
See, well, one of the passages where the depth shall show the mirror to your soul, where you have to praise yourself to the faith of the divine by saying your fears, or seeing and fearing what lies in the depth from where your soul emerged. Yeah, I guess if our souls emerged from our bodies, then it could make sense to look in ourselves. And maybe the lake has an amplifying effect of letting us see the depth of our souls. But then there's thousands of people at the lake that are in that depth that aren't being freed. Guess what we could do is maybe test it out. I guess which of us is the strongest of mind?
Probably either you, Jade, or myself.
Ooh, well, one of us could then get near the lake. I guess you know how to meditate. We could put some protection spells on you, and you could give it a go of trying to see how deep you can go within yourself. Then maybe after an hour, if nothing's happened, or if it seems perilous, we could pull you away.
Yeah, I'm willing to try.
Okay. How about we rest for a few hours so I can get my spells
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, yes,
And
absolutely.
then we give it a
yes.
go.
It sounds like you guys had quite a few hours that were draining while I was laying in a metal box.
That I almost would have preferred that.
I don't think so.
All right, we'll take a breather and keep an eye on Eirik then.
Okie dokie. Can definitely do that. Then you'll take a long rest. And unless anyone wants to do anything specific during this long rest, for example, play a prank on Eirik. Maybe not, just leave him alone.
Quite the opposite, actually. I would make sure that I am staying very close to Eirik to keep him at arm's reach.
Yes. The ultimate prank. Giving someone your sympathy. Then now just stay within Eirik's vicinity, and he seems to be still going on a lot about, you know, his own state of mind and talking wild stuff, why it was abandoned, that wasn't his fault, that they are to blame, stuff like that. Just a lot of gibberish to your ears at least. However, after like the 8 hours pass and you feel rested enough, or specifically Fiera and Jade, Eirik comes back a bit and occasionally recognizes you. And you can take off 1 point of exhaustion. Eirik, you are still in a very high state of delirium, but occasionally your hallucinations break and you can see and recognize Israel is there, but then suddenly you get distracted again. So it's always like an on and off where you can somewhat talk with them.
Just the channels are switching back and
Yeah,
forth.
exactly. It's just like and that's after 8 hours pass. And after that, Vertrix would also come and say, so the plan is...
Well, I think we're gonna do a test with Izarel. She is gonna go near the lake and see if she can reach into the depth of her soul and
Yikes.
see if that's what they want.
Alright then. We just stay here and keep my eye on Eirik. He seems to be getting a bit better.
I think that's fair. The less people I have to protect with my spells. So
Fair enough, fair enough. Alright.
but the tower's yours. And I'll hand him a copy of the slate, but in common. You can look over this if you want. Maybe come up with some other ideas.
Alright. Not the best at these, but trying to do my best.
one idea is we might have to go dive into the lake. So, maybe figure out how to breathe in blood. I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of me special tricks up my sleeve actually. I haven't told anyone about it yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Good trick.
Yeah. Alright. Good luck to you then. And who's going out then?
I think just us three. Eric
Yeah, I
would go
guess-
crazy if
yeah.
he goes near it. Bye, Eric. We're back.
Okay. Then you make your way back. Do you go anywhere specific? Do you go back to the guidance stone, or do you just go to any old spot that is close to the lake?
We should
let's
probably go to the stone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, because I want another look at the entrance.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go back there.
Yeah, that's easy enough. And as you get closer and closer and closer, now I swear as you are now for the first time getting close to the lake, you can also hear this almost dissonant tinnitus that starts piercing your ears. And once again, it's less an actual sound that you hear with your ears, but it's just this reverberating, almost like hymn. It seems to be just sitting inside of your head, and you don't actively notice when it starts. It's like a very soft fade, and you just at some point realize, oh shit, it's there, and you become aware and conscious of it. And all three of you, as you enter up in the space, can all make a wisdom saving throw. Holy shit.
Holy.
That's a natural 20 people.
It was almost good.
Okay. Every one of you makes the save. So the whispering and the kind of tinted sound doesn't seem to get any louder, but it still stays there perpetually inside of your mind. And yeah, you kind of get to the area where you can get visuals on the lake itself, and also on the many people that seem to be around the lake, and just realized, I swear, you have not seen them. So I will just show them again, so you know what they look like. There are many, many hundreds, if not thousands, of wooden stakes that seem to be jutting out of the lake. There are ropes tied between them with pieces of bloody parchment attached to them. And within the lake itself are these figures who seem to be clutching their hams, kind of tied in some sort of barbed wire. And on the back they're carrying this wooden symbols that seems to be a resemblance of the Holy Legionnaire sign. And as mentioned, you get to the lake.
Before you meditate, can I look over the stone again and just see if there's anything that's worn off, any hidden writing, any small writing that I didn't see at the when I was copying it down? Anything I'm missing?
Yeah, the small print. Yeah, you can make an investigation check.
Guidance.
Let's see. Is that D4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely need it. 15.
15. Looking over the stone, you don't see any hidden writings or messages that have been kind of carved on the side of the stone. One thing you do notice is that the stone itself seems to be made out of a very different material.
than the surrounding stones, I guess. As you touch where it's been engraved, and it's very smooth, almost like a what's it called? Almost like marble. And I actually never described the stone itself, but it's kind of this very it's a rough stone on the outside, but where the carvings of the scriptures been written on has been completely polished smooth. And it also looks similar to marble, where there are these kind of natural patterns inside of it. And the scripture itself, carved inside, is actually carved with a golden tint. As you kind of, if you go over it, it's a bit glossy. But other than that, you don't notice any or anything significant.
Okay. Well, if you want to make yourself comfortable, Izrael, I can give you some protection for this.
Yep.
After I hit the long rest button.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Spells back. Yeah, I'll give yourself an intellect fortress. Just to try to keep you from being too lost. Gives you advantage on your saves.
Good,
That's
good,
what
good.
saved us when we were walking.
Other than that, I'll just keep an eye on you.
All right. I'm gonna go close to the lake without getting into it. And I'm going to sit down and get into my meditation position, and then I'll just start meditating and try to look deep inside myself for that area that I know is my safe space, that I could feel or hear there was something intruding in there.
Okay. Once again, there are a lot of these people around the lake, which means you will have to find, or if you wish to do so, find a spot either where there are not so many people, so you wouldn't get close to them, or how would you proceed to do so, and how close are you actually getting to the lake? Are you like literally in front of the blood, or are you like 3 meters away?
Oh no, I would keep a certain distance to it, like close enough that like I definitely know that the lake is close to me, but with a distance enough that I'm not, like, I would like to be at least a meter and a half away from the closest person. You know, I want to keep a certain distance to the closest person, but I still don't want to be like too far away.
Okay. You can definitely stay further away than a meter from the closest person and still be close to the lake. It's not like a swimming pool in a summer resort or something like that. It's not that filled.
No.
I'm just asking if you're paying attention to avoid these people, or if you just
like I said, I want to be close to the lake, but I don't necessarily want to be close to the other people, so I'm keeping a certain distance from the people, but not too much. Like, I'm not necessarily scared, or like, I'm not deterred from being close to the lake because of these people, but I don't want to be like standing next to one being like, hi buddy, I'm gonna meditate next to you, you know?
Okay. Okay, yeah, you go relatively close, somewhat, I guess, avoiding these people, and sit right in front of the bloodied lake. And while she's doing that, Fiera and Jade, where are you positioning yourselves?
I
Maybe
would
like 10 feet away.
Yeah, I'd still be pretty close to the lake, but I'd probably try to find a spot that's a little bit farther away from the big group of people that are there.
Okay. So, how far from Icewear would you be then?
Probably like 10 or 15 feet.
Okay, so also seem pretty close. Yeah, so you can find a comfortable spot Icewear where you're like a meter away or so, and you can see the lake. Some portions actually go down and meet the lake like a beach, but there are also like some more rough cliffs and stuff like that, where you would still be like 1 or 2 meters high above the lake. And the only place where you can kind of get down would put you like roughly 30 or so feet would be the closest person next to you, kind of also standing at this beach side, and they're like walking in small circles, talking, blubbering to themselves. But yeah, you kind of sit down and start meditating, and you go back to your space. So what specifically are you thinking about while you're meditating, or concentrating on, I should rather say?
I'm going to think of how I feel like I abandoned Arya. How I feel like I failed my father. How I feel like I failed and I'll, concentrate on the mistakes that I feel like I've done lately.
Oh.
And try to go from there.
Okay, make a wisdom saving throw. With advantage because you have intellect fortress.
Yes.
Well, did need it. It's because it was the second one. Yes, you stand there. No, not stand there. You sit there, meditate, and you think about your mistakes, and you kind of come to terms with them. And while you're inside of that space, this kind of lingering voice or tone that is kind of scraping around you doesn't penetrate you any further, doesn't disturb you from your meditation, but you don't feel any other developments that you would hope for. And I would say you meditate for at least full half an hour, and during this time you're just doing your normal meditation. Nothing else seems to be happening.
I'm going, when I feel like, I'm coming to terms with things that I've done in the recent past, I'm going to start thinking of, I'm gonna start thinking of Glamour. Back when we, killed him. I'm gonna think of the bandits that I've killed in the tunnel. I'm gonna start, going back to the lives that I've taken with my own hands.
Okay. Then Fiera and Jade, you're kind of just standing there. You see Isabel, she's unchanging, just sitting there meditating, concentrating. Kind of obviously that the guy next to you has moved a bit closer towards you, but only like by 5 feet or so. Doesn't by all means seem like it was a conscious decision by any means. It just seems like his stumbling has now just made its way towards you, but he's getting like a tiny bit closer, just so you're aware. And I swear you can make another wisdom saving throw. Actually, Jade and Fiera, you both as well. The 20. 17. You're doing fine. I swear you're kind of thinking back to the lives that you've taken. Maybe not having truly grasped what you have done in the moment when you did take these lives. Maybe you're getting a bit closer to the true extent of quote-unquote power that you actually have taken another human's life. May it be from a bad or a good person, it is still a life that you have ended. And you're hoping that from this, I guess, enlightenment of your own deeds would bring you any further. However, it doesn't seem like anything more happens other than your own mental state is once again coming to terms with the decisions and consequences that you have done. Once again, the voices still just linger in your space, and you just perpetually sit here as I would say another like 1.5 hours passed. Same goes for Piera and Jade, which means the spell Intellect Fortress now disappears over this time.
Okay. I think once the spell ends, I kind of realize it's been a while. So I'll just go over to Azrael and pat you on the shoulder. Hey, how's it going?
I'm actually doing great. However, I feel like I'm not coming to anything conclusive right now. Other than feeling more at peace with my decisions, I don't feel like I've made any advancement at all.
Yeah. You didn't see a sort of like white light within yourself?
Nope. No, I just hear lingering voices in the back of my brain, and I've just been alone with my thoughts. There's one last thing I would like to try. Other than that, we might be back to square one.
Okay, well, let's keep experimenting while we're all doing okay. I'll put the spell back on us, and I'll cast Intellect Fortress again on both of us.
Mm-hmm.
If we have 1 more hour, then I'd say we should probably return.
Okay.
Okay. The spell gets casted again. As you cast a spell on Azrael, you can see a light twitch, almost like a reaction to you casting the spell from the guy who's kind of close by towards you. However, it's nothing more than a twitch, and he just kind of goes back and starts mowing again.
Was there any reaction to the, I guess, sentinels? I don't know what we want to call them, the giant things with halberds when they cast a spell?
Doesn't seem to be any movement whatsoever.
And have we heard any, crashing that we've been here? In a
Nope.
couple hours?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the spell was casted once again. Top of you. So, Azrael, what do you wish to do?
The last thing I want to try is go back to that meditative state that I know and I'm comfortable with. And this time, I'm going to try and concentrate on those whispers that I'm hearing and try to hear what they're actually saying.
Okay. Then make a wisdom saving throw. Usually with disadvantage. However, Intellect Fortress makes that a normal roll.
Yes. I can do this. I can do this.
That's
That was good.
24. You
Didn't Eric listen to the voices?
Yep, that's what started it.
you try to listen into the voices. However, while you're in your comfortable space, there's an innate stability that your mind has, and an innate almost like immune system that protects you from danger, that doesn't allow you to hear any closer, and you can see that your own mind is trying to keep a distance from those voices. And even though you're trying to listen to them instinctively, your natural defense system of your mind doesn't allow you to hear what they're saying. And you quickly realize that it might be better that way.
Okay. Wonderful. Now that Fiera mentioned the white light, I'm gonna try to look within myself if I feel or see or hear or whatever that white light that she talked about.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You can make another... Oh, and Fiera and Jade, you also have to make a wisdom saving throw. And I swear you can make another one as well.
Ooh,
Guys.
is that too low? Just in case, I guess I probably hear the voices anyways. I don't know if that's too low. 16 is probably is. No, I think it added together. It should have been lower. Yeah, it should have been 11. I don't know why it added.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, Chronal Shift and reroll that once. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, you're doing fine. I saw you try to focus on this white light. Imagery, very powerful. But as you don't have any innate connection to any source of white light, as far as you're concerned, and you're not religious in terms of holy religionist ways, you just imagine a white light, and that is all you see for the next passing of the half hour after Fiera, your spell once again fades. Second time.
Okay. Let's get away from here before we go crazy. The only conclusive thing I can come up to is don't listen to the voices in your head.
Good conclusion. How far away from that door I saw with the two guards?
It's like the gate is on the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
And it's so humongous that even where you are, you kind of went into the direction of where the grindstone is, you would still be able to see it. It's like huge.
Oh, it's a big entrance, a big gateway.
Oh yeah, it's enormous. It's almost goes the entirety up of the wall.
Jeez. Do I have any idea how long it would take to walk from like where we are on the shore to that gate?
From the shore to that gate. So, like Jesus style over the lake?
Yeah, because we've seen some of these people, walk on it. Like, if we could walk on the blood and it was just like, solid, how long would it take to walk across?
I guess just make an investigation check. I think it's like intelligence based. Or calculating distance. 21. It could be anywhere between I can bring out the crudely drawn map again. You can see the lake is pretty damn long, and like I said, it took you around it would have taken you roughly 2 days to walk this distance. It would roughly take you 2 days to get
Holy cow.
there.
Okay. So kind of what we think is described as the lake is almost more like a moat. And then there's a wall, and then there's a gateway. Okay. Yeah, that would take so long to go across. That might be next step. Okay, yeah, let's head back. I can't think of anything else to do myself. Yeah, let's head back.
Okay. Then you guys all turn away and start walking back. However, on your way back, you guys have to make one last wisdom saving throw. Will you cast the spell another time?
I probably would just on myself.
Okay, was a double check. Yep, it didn't. Make it plus. So as you all turn around and start going back, Israel, your curiosity, unfortunately, in the last moments, got the better of you. And there's just this split second that you listen into the voices. And it's an unpleasant voice that you have been dealing with quite a while, and you thought and you swear you just made peace with it. And it's the one voice that you know is the only voice that can truly judge you. It's your own. It's the one that blames you why your best friend isn't here right now. And it cuts deep. And you take 1 point of exhaustion and also 1 insanity point as this voice creeps at the back of your mind as sort of you leave the Lake of Atonement. However, you get far enough that the effects don't further seem to be piercing your mind. However, that one voice stays where it has been all this time, reminding you that now you're traveling with some other person called Jade, even though it could have been Arya, because of a bad decision that you made. And you all arrive back at the Tower of Weird. You guys do.
Jade just kind of like goes off to like, she leans up against the tower and she's doing her own type of meditation. She didn't really want to do it at the lake because she is afraid, but she kind of still wants to dig within herself to see what makes her so afraid to do it at the lake.
Okay, yeah. Make, I think Charisma is your spellcaster modifier. Make a Charisma check.
A what? Sorry?
A straight Charisma check. Charisma. Actually, Eric, you can also make a wisdom saving throw.
What?
The skill that I'm good at is the one. Okay.
We'll wait for Eric's 16.
Whoa!
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Good job.
Impressive. You actually lose another point of exhaustion as you're
Hey!
now, as you have your peace of mind, are able to deal with your insanity a bit, and as the voices aren't piercing you directly anymore, you seem to be able to rationalize your own consciousness back, and you can see maybe perhaps with the talk of Veltrix and Goran kind of like trying to speak with you is helping you a bit to reclaim your sanity. in portions as they kind of just remind you where you are and stuff like that, and that's slowly picking up mind. And this time you can very clearly recognize the people in front of you. It's just the voices are still bombarding you and you're still unfocused for the most part, but you can see normally again. Jade, you try to analyze what this deep-seated fear is, and it's fear. It is completely irrational, and your mind is protecting you from it, obviously, and so you gain no further insight as to what causes fear, because that might potentially spell disaster on your mind if you would find out what is terrorizing it, and so it prefers to keep it in the dark, at least for now. So as you come back, you see Tenaria kind of answer the door, or notice that your weapon says, well, got some good news. Seems like Eirik has regained some of his sanity back. He's at least able to recognize us for the most part.
Wonderful.
Yes, have you made any progress so far?
We can probably check meditating off the list of ways not to leave.
It's unfortunate. Well, how about you just come inside? And how are you all
Sure.
doing? Seem to be doing quite fine.
Meanwhile, Isarel's just behind, just crying.
Maybe not all of you.
Yeah, I think every time we go to the lake, it's difficult.
Understandably so. Well, I'm pretty sure Eirik would be glad to meet you all again. How about...
Oh, right, I need to give him his tool back anyways.
Oh. Yes, sure. And he just kind of, steps back. It is your tower after all. It doesn't try to pretend it's hers. Though it seems like she's maybe trying to make her own space inside of here. You're like, converting into another star. That's
Moving the furniture.
yeah, just
Yeah.
by slight bits. Maybe a 45 degrees angle instead of a 61. It just fits a little bit. But yeah, you come into the lounge and you can see that Eirik is kind of, I guess, talking with Veltrix about you in hell. It sucks here. It's depressing, which are all the bad things, which actually bring most of Eirik back out. It's like, you finally made it back. Well, Eirik, enough talking with me, I guess. You doing fine? You doing all right?
Yeah, I guess for now. That. Oh, how long? Oh man, how long has it been?
Quite a while. Like 1.5 days.
Oh my god. Oh man, that feels. I feel like I've just lived an entire lifetime in my head. Oh my gosh.
Well, it most certainly sounded like that as well. Yeah, you were talking quite a bit.
Oh. Where are the others? What?
Oh, they
Hi.
just arrived. What there?
Oh.
Looks like you can probably handle this again, and give you your gizmo.
What happened? What did?
Nothing. Just I was looking at it. So I was curious.
I think in other circumstances I would be a little bit more distressed that you took it, but whatever. Just give it back.
Right. Yeah. Welcome back, by the way. Good to see that people can recover from its effects.
It's locked.
Isarel's gonna kind of realize that Eirik is there and just take him in our arms and be like, "You're safe. You're safe. I'm not letting you go. You're safe. You're here. You're good. You're good. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe now." And she's just crying, and then she turns around to Fiera and does the same. And she's like, "I'm
Oh.
not letting you go. I'm not letting you. You're safe here.
Okay, yeah.
I'll protect you. I promise you. I'm not gonna make the same mistake again." And then lets you go and just sits down and keeps crying.
Ooh, let's give her a moment.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. How about we give you some personal space?
And go, and then Bertrix can just stand up and then proceed to leave the room.
Okay. I look around for sane people to talk to. Having trouble.
I think that just leaves like Jade and
Yeah.
Jade.
who's outside.
Yep, I just go outside. Ooh,
Oh my
that's
god.
there.
Oh. Oh.
Jade, do you want to join me for something quick?
You're not gonna experiment on me, are you? I've been told to not let you experiment on me.
I've done this one before. I just want to go up so we can maybe have a better look.
Okay,
And I'm pretty sure you have better eyes than me.
maybe? But sure. As long as you've done this one before and you're not experimenting on me, I'm fine.
Not this one. Ooh. Oh. Next time. Because
I
you just
give
gave
you like
me an
a
idea.
terrified look.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, it's like, wait, if I can find this. No, that may be too dangerous. Yeah, let's just go for a quick flight. And I'll just cast Fly at 4th level on both of us. So, do you want to join me? We can just go up and take a look.
Sure.
Maybe there's something we can see up there that we can't see down here.
Up we go.
Pew.
Pew. Okay, you fly up into the air. You can see the landscape of hell beneath your feet, and you can see as you look further south from where you came from. A few days ago, the more cragged, planed landscape with ravines, deep stretched rocks, and sharp cliff sides, and how it slowly kind of dies down and simmers down to the more even and somewhat hilly landscape of the beach side of the Lake of Atonement. Yeah, what do you both wish to do?
So what exactly are you looking for?
I'm wondering what we can see past the wall, if anything. Yeah, I mean that's my goal. I want to see past the wall of wound. On the map that says Citadel. I also want to look like on the other side of where the gate is. Yeah, just try to see what's beyond.
Okay, you can make a perception check.
I'll give him guidance. Or give Pierre guidance.
It won't help.
Maybe I should have gave myself guidance.
For
Maybe.
perception checks, always.
Yeah, the air once again here is usually a big smoggy and foggy, and especially as the wall of wound is friggin' tall, like you could see it from approximately like almost like 40 to 50 miles away, which suggests it must be ginormous. But you can't see, the only thing you do see is big clouds behind it as usual, kind of even scraping the top parts of the wall, which are the parts that you can see, as well as the large angelic looking statues with the enormous halberds, which now make you realize, as you can somewhat ascertain the distance from your side of the lake to that side of the lake, how long these halberds have to actually be. Like, if they are 2 days travel away, that means these halberds are like 50 miles long, which is a bit ridiculous to think about. But you're in hell. What you can slightly see, and that's actually only Jade that you can see with your bit more keener perception, is that there is like a mountainscape behind the wall. You can see like the peaks of a few mountains and stuff, and actual mountains that seem to be rising quite tall, as you are able to see them even from this distance. And once again, you can see also in the distance this one very tall, long, piercing thing structure that goes infinitely high into the distance that you have seen since you first arrived here.
So I kind of described the mountainscape to Fira.
Ooh, do I know like was like a mountain area ever described to me in sense of like religious sense, and like these are the mountains of hell that guard, I don't know, some significance of mountains in hell?
Yeah, you can make a religion check.
Guidance.
Thank you. Gosh. Fine. Give me a 3.
19. Not particular. There are like a few mountainy landmarks that come to mind, which is the very famous story, which literally I'm quoting the Bible right now, is the mountain top of which God asked Moses to sacrifice his first son Cain. Also kind of wasn't really near mountain, but you know, in a mountainous area where also Moses found the burning bush and talked with God. That also exists. But there isn't like ever the specific mention of a holy mountain. There is one mountain that comes to mind that is often revered as quite holy, but back at your home plane, which is Mount Celestia, which is the tallest mountain in the entire continent, which is the one where also Barashiel, the capital of Canaan, is built by. With by, I mean close to, not. It wasn't built by the mountain. And it usually people scale this mountain for a holy ascent and stuff like that. A lot of religious purposes. But as I said, completely unrelated to hell. So yeah, even with the 19, there isn't a one thing, at least in your literature, that you know of.
Okay. Well, there could be a point of interest back there, perhaps on the tallest mountain. But first, we need to get past the lake. Oh, I really hope we don't have to swim in that lake.
I don't think some of our companions would survive. The way
would be
Eirik
difficult.
was just from being near it. And then Izarel almost gave in. Concerning.
Yeah, it only took Eirik a couple hours to lose his mind. Okay, well, let's get back to the others. Make sure everyone's of sound mind and start on plan B.
fly back down to greet the others. That's where we're gonna take our break. So, I'm gonna see you in a second. See if they can manage to get across the lake. Bye. And we're back. So, Fiera and Jade, you fly back down. And how do you wish to proceed?
Okay, smart people, let's assemble. Whoever wants to be part of the discussion, I guess. In the lounge.
If I was smart, Arya would still be here. So I'm of no use here.
I'll. Well, that's rough. I don't think that's true. But I think we'll need you to leave. Maybe just keep in earshot.
I'll be up on the roof.
You have good ears. That'll work. Okay, Jade, Eric, Tenaria.
Yeah, to the best of my abilities.
Wonderful. So, if we are going by what was on the stone, if it was meant as a guide, it talked about seeking faith in the depth of atonement to see an answer emerge from the depth, la depth. And from the depth, it shall show us the mirror of our soul, which we need to embrace. So this depth.
I have an idea about that.
Okay.
But it also could be dangerous. But
We're
I
in
feel
hell.
like everything in hell's dangerous. It could be dangerous because we have Calyx's mark. But maybe we just have to put a couple drops of our blood into the lake.
Not sure, because I believe... I think when you described them, Jack, they were, like, the people that were walking the lake, did they have, like, barbed wire sort of thing?
Yes, they had.
So they were probably bleeding?
Yeah, it seemed like they had a lot of blood around them, though you don't know if it came from
I mean, it could be
bathing
from the lake.
on the lake or...
Because I feel like swimming in it is too dangerous.
It seems wildly dangerous, yeah. Especially with how big it is. And we wouldn't be able to go together very well.
But maybe just our blood, because it would go into it and mix with the lake, and it can potentially go to the depths of the lake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple enough to try.
And I fear the lake. So it does say, like, seeing and fearing what lies in the dark depth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be willing to test out the theory.
I feel like the more I think about it, the more likely it is we have to go in it.
Could it be a situation of once you get in it, the process becomes easier? Like, I know they're all the people walking around and stuff look like, me, right? They look all like controlled and everything. But like, if we go in to the lake knowing what we're trying to find, maybe it would be like easier. I don't know.
But the first line is, those who seek their sin will never be forgiven. We must seek faith. That almost sounds like we have to have faith that if we submerge ourselves into the deepest part of the lake...
Yeah. If we
guide
believe...
us.
Yeah, we believe that it won't cause us damage. Because we have no way of knowing if any of those people in the lake saw this message.
Celestial's pretty rare.
So none of them, they might not know what to do. They might not have seen this message, understood it.
Also, once they got to your states and beyond, you didn't seem to have a whole lot of control. You were seeing things, you were interacting with things.
Did I? Nothing like happened. We didn't like hurt. I didn't hurt anybody or anything, right? Like,
No.
Okay.
You were just talking to yourself a lot.
Don't worry, we're taking quite good care of you, Eric.
I appreciate that. Good to know someone was looking over me.
I think you're right. We have to trust. Because we're not trying to figure out what our sins are. So, because I feel like if we were trying to figure out what they were, we wouldn't be able to move forward. And it, like you said, into the light.
Yeah, this process is about faith, about being shown the darkest part of ourselves, and being given a light to be guided on the way out. That is the Lichnia's faith.
I would like to say, though, light and me aren't things that are usually in the same sentence. So that could be why I'm apprehensive about this. I don't really know. So let's just hope I don't spontaneously combust.
Ooh, that would be quite frightening.
I mean, you're not a demon, so...
I mean, if
I'm
you
not.
think about it logically, I mean, light creates shadow, so...
Right, there are two sides of a coin. You have to have both to have one.
So when are we going to go jump in this lake?
Let's...
I feel like
What-
if we don't say it, that I'm going to talk myself out of it.
What would happen if we just run and do it and not let those stages of insanity grow? If we just,
Rush in?
yeah, like blew right through it all and just jumped in the lake.
I don't want to give any misdirection toward the statues that we're doing something aggressive. So I think we just walk toward the doors and we don't stop.
Mm.
It will still take time. Again, we have to have faith. It's not about avoiding consequences or avoiding a danger. It's about trusting that what is there to guide us toward the next step. If we try to rush through it, then we may be maiming ourselves.
Also, as much as I am feeling better, I still got the voices.
Right. And I still want to try to contact Zephygus. I think I was close last time, but it's very tricky to pinpoint one person on a planet. It turns out shocking. A storm's pretty easy. It's just right there, but one person's a little bit tricky, you know. How about this? The tower will last about 12 more hours. Once it goes down, we go. So we have 12 hours to prepare ourselves.
Anybody want dumplings?
Yeah, the kitchen's available.
I just get up and go into the kitchen and start making dumplings.
Tanawa joins you.
I need to take my mind off of serious things and focus on something that brings me mild joy.
Alright, I should probably go distract Azrael a little bit.
And I feel like I should stay away from Azrael because I'm not the person that she wants to be here with her.
It's nothing against you.
A hell
Right,
quo.
I also just want as much time as I can to maybe try to
yeah, I know. Please,
flush
Yeah.
the system.
what did I ask Tempest last time we called? I believe the blood. Oh, yeah, Azrael wasn't here for this.
Would
No.
I don't know if it'll work, but I can try to maybe help. I can try lesser restoration on you again. To see if it helps get rid of some of your insanity.
I
Have
mean,
to
if
spell magic.
So I just walk up behind Eirik and I just put my hands on his shoulder as like shadowy stuff comes out of my hand and like tries to remove a condition affecting him.
Mm-hmm. You cast Lesser Restoration. Now you see the shadowy powers of Jade kind of coalesce around your body. But you feel no different than before, as unfortunately these powers are not strong enough to cure the insanity that Eirik is currently going through.
Sorry, buddy. I tried. But I'm gonna make you a good meal. And hopefully that'll take your mind off of the other voices.
they're pretty strong. Better be some good dumplings.
If you have a flavor you would like, and I'll see if there's the ingredients.
Oh boy. How about oh my god, so many options. This is a big roleplay decision right now.
What is Eirik's favorite dumpling flavor?
Ooh.
Chicken and spicy garlic.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Fuck.
Spicy garlic and chicken.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm gonna go in the kitchen and I'm gonna try to find the ingredients for this.
Comes back with peanut butter and jelly.
The only thing Pierre eats.
But I did buy like 20 or 25 rations and I threw it in Arg's bag, so there's probably something in there.
Yeah.
You want me to do an investigation check?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's solve this with walls to see if you can find spicy garlic and chicken inside of Fioras. Nope. All you find are cupboards full of purified meat, devil meat that you've gotten from the devils. Definitely isn't chicken, but hey, you know, most things taste like chicken apparently. And you're in hell, so everything is spicy. And maybe some of it tastes like garlic. Enough for you to improvise.
So I'm gonna improvise, but I'm not gonna tell Idaric that it's not what he wanted.
Yeah, you can do that. And just for the, what would it be? I guess a performance check to see how well you cook.
I'm gonna give myself guidance.
Okay.
A TV show.
Man.
Holy fuck.
Ooh.
Holy fuck. Holy
Better
fuck.
than Gordon Ramsay.
Jesus Christ. Excuse me, this is oh, what's his name again? Fuck his name, Fieri?
Guy Fieri?
Yeah,
Fieri.
some Guy Fieri shit right here, man. Shit made with the fire of Fieri inside of hell. Yeah, you make probably the most delicious, exquisite devil meat hell spice dumplings that have ever been created on this plane ever. And probably takes you a while, probably an hour or so, and you come out and you know they're in their bamboo dumpling casket. I would just say you carry them with you because you like to do dumplings. You always just have these caskets with you and serve them to Eirik, who I presume you eat those. And you know what? I would say you can make a wisdom saving throw with advantage because of these amazing dumplings.
Oh my gosh.
That is a 14, barely enough to get over the spice, and you lose another point of exhaustion and insanity as these absolute bangers kick you right back to reality, and you realize, you know what? Sometimes life, even in hell, can still be good.
No, well, I mean,
Dumplings save
So
everything.
When I bring you your dumplings, I'm like, these are gonna be the best chicken and spicy garlic dumplings you've ever had in your whole life.
let's do it. Let's do it. No better time than the present.
And now still present it is. So as Eirik is thoroughly enjoying his personalized cooked meal from Jade, Fiera, what are you up to?
Arcane Aura on the bag in my scroll case before I forget. Get number 20 in. 2/3 of the way there.
Yep. Slowly but surely.
Yep. And I'll go up to Heuser. Are you in the observatory or are you on the roof?
I am on the roof.
Oh God. I'm gonna fly up there because I don't trust myself.
I mean, yeah, hour hasn't passed
Mark
yet.
that up.
Well, you still have fly from before, I would say you can still have that.
It only lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was now. Okay, yeah, then not.
I wish. Maybe one day. Yeah, you'll kind of see me fly up and I'll kind of land next to you. Yeah, not the best view. Me and Jade looked earlier from a bit higher and it's awful.
doesn't look very appealing.
No, that's for sure. Well, we did come up with a plan. We will be going for a swim in about 11 and a half hours. And we're going to have faith that it's the way. So yeah, you have time to prepare. But I was actually hoping you could help me with my spell again. I guess you missed it, but I tried to contact Zephyrus earlier. It was kind of close, but it's... Have you ever seen the weave like a tree? Like the stronger you are, the stronger a branch you create on like the weave.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but I went down the wrong branch. But if you could watch over me, I'd appreciate it.
I'll do my best to fight my inner voice that is trying to...
Right.
It's
Eventually
trying to
send up
convince...
dumplings. Yeah, eventually the dumplings get sent up to you.
Oh, thank you. There's a hatch, so.
Yeah, the inner voices are trying to convince me that it is entirely my fault that Arya's gone, and that if I had done things different and made better decisions, she would be here.
Well, that was kind of difficult to deal with.
I don't think there's anything anyone can say right now that's going to make it any easier.
Well, you actually experienced it not long ago. Just like there's many versions of you out there, there's just as many versions of Arya. And many of them are probably thriving.
I am trying to convince the voices that it is the case. All right, let's get down so you can.
Yeah, I don't
try
want to do
this
that
again.
up here.
I figured.
Go down to observatory. I guess, do you have any questions for him, or if I accidentally called Tempestus' number again?
Nothing that could be of importance right now.
Okay. Again, my own meditative bubble, and begin contact other plane and try again to find that branch that is Zephyrus through the immensity that is Tempestus trying to block away.
Yeah, then you can make your intelligence thing throw first.
With Intellect Fortress, yes. So I'm slapped for that.
You still have that letter too. You never gave it back to me.
Wonderful. And tongues. I got so many spells.
I will, when I see her start doing those things, I will. Oh, okay. Never mind. The roll went.
And saves are the one thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then, once again, you can roll me a D100.
I think I hit 97 last time, so I just need the opposite end of that scale. Come on.
That is 35. You once again find yourself leaving this plane as you close your eyes and venture through the abundance of space that lies between your plane and this plane. And once again, it feels like millions of tiny leaves flowing past you and focusing, trying this time to maybe guide yourself to one of these leaves that might feel a bit different or have a different touch or anything that might remind you of Zephyrus. However, it is quickly diminished by the maelstrom of a familiar presence, as once again you are caught into this maelstrom and a heavier branch hits you, almost like forcing you into its own domain, and the heavy storm, thunder and lightning, the flashing lights and bellowing winds surround you once again. And as you open your eyes and are meted in this place, and you wait for a tiny while, but you don't see the 6 eyes appear.
In this, like you said, it's the same place I've been before a couple times now.
Yeah, you seem to be surrounded by storm. Feels very, very familiar. Just the 6 eyes don't seem to be opening themselves up to you.
Oh, there's a high storm going on. I've lost track of time. Okay, I guess I'll try to speak out. Are you available to talk right now?
How polite. Hello,
Yeah, okay.
you speak out. Await an answer. Await the deep reverberating voice of Tempestus kind of come back to you. But you don't get an answer.
Okay. Don't rock me here. I was looking for someone else. I was actually trying to contact Zephyrus Silverstein. Are you familiar with them?
Have to think a bit. You hear the summer voice, and it says,
awakens the terror.
And with that, suddenly, in a great shift, you see the entire storm beneath you kind of open up. And you can see the vista of the landscape, what seems to be the Saphire Plain. You can't quite make out which regions, but you can sort of make out Mount Celestia and the Alps. You have seen the map from a top view before. And you see parts of Tellus, parts of Azathia. And it's almost like you are seeing a bird's eye view down on the planet, or not planet, on the lands itself. And kind of intertwining magical weaves that just seem to be dispersing throughout the land. And there's kind of a singular red point that goes sort of at the border of Canaan and Tellus, where the cliffs of the Decidium are. And then there's also one that seems to be going where the border of Collis and Azathia is. And just in a quick instant you see that before you get taken away from the storm, get ejected back towards your own place and wake up with Isaro next to you.
Are you okay?
That was kind of unexpected. I'm fine. There was
That felt shorter than last time I helped you.
It was definitely cut short. Yeah, there was some interference. I kind of got kind of intertwined with Tempestus. Seemed busy, but did show me there's something going on at the border where we were at before we left, and the border of Tellus and my home. Sounds like those
Conflict.
major war points, right?
Yep. Conflict where the Lichnius has sent people.
Yes. So last time I talked to Tempestus, they mentioned that blood fuels the terrors. So I wonder if this war will just... if it's fueling demons? If it's fueling the problem with the weave?
I am starting to believe that they are actually related to each other.
Kind of feels like it. Because this place, on the other side of the river, it's void. There's nothing. There's no magic. Well, we need to get back home.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
We'll see. I think we have the tools we need. So I guess it's time to take that leap of faith. Okay, well, in 11 hours, we'll set off.
Yep.
Alright, I'll see you then.
If you're okay with it, I'll just stay up here. I can't face Jade while I have these voices in my head, and I don't want to say something that could hurt her. If you could just let her know that I don't hate her. I'll tell her myself also, but just for now.
Right. Yeah, I could pass it along.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll try to get some rest.
Please do. Okay, I guess we prep and rest.
Okay. Then, unless anyone else wants to do something, we go through the long rest, relatively undisturbed. And I recognize where we can knock off your 1 point of exhaustion, as this rest does help you recover back fully. Gives you the time you need.
Woohoo!
Nice. Nice.
And
Hey!
congratulations, you're back to normal.
I'm glad my dumplings helped Eric.
That's amazing.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, dumplings are magical. Yeah. So, at the end of the rest, the tower then shortly after crumbles down, and you're left back at the beaches of the Lake of Atonement. So, what's your game plan,
Oh,
people?
Jade's just trying to make sure that she will go through with it and not run the other way.
Yeah, I
She's
guess do we
giving
want
herself
to
a pep talk?
pep talk would be great. Do we want to like tie ourselves each to a piece of rope when we go through this?
That wouldn't be
Oh,
letting
wait,
go
man.
and having faith.
Okay.
Sorry, my audio just whacked out for a second. I'm back.
There. Okay, then let's. If we're all prepared, I think we just walk toward beach, and then we head toward the gate.
Yep.
Once it gets steep enough, we choose to go under.
We can do this.
And I'll remind everyone, it's either this or we end up like the people that endlessly travel these lakes seeking something they'll never get.
And if it works, maybe we can convince them to come in the water. Or the blood.
I mean, we can certainly try. So, I'm placing my hopes somewhere else, that's for sure.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see how long one of my spells last. I haven't used in a while. An hour. Okay. All right. Step one. Let's get to the beach.
Let's get away. Hey, no, sorry. That's a
different one. Yeah.
different song. Sorry.
I mean, we can start a dance at the beach.
I am so sorry. My brain could not contain it.
Hello, beach party in hell.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
hurt anyone. Okay. Then you'll walk as your first steps towards the beach.
And I will in fortress, just because.
Okay. Then all of you can make a wisdom saving throw as you enter back within the reach of the beach. In the reach of the beach.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you guys.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Okay, let's go. Two more days.
I'm using my inspiration.
Oh.
I'm gonna be joining Eirik right there.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Have inspiration.
2 natural ones.
Ooh.
I've been holding on to inspiration for like 3 months.
Yeah, you had one for a while, I remember.
All right.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
What's the first one there? I have to look up.
Wow.
So, you all return back to the beach, and you all feel the voices creeping back up the back of your mind. Actually, I also have to roll for the other 3. Almost forget. No.
Which one?
No.
Oh no.
Rolled like 3 2s.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You didn't.
So, at the back of your minds, the whispers once again start to intrude and become louder and louder, specifically for Isoel. The voices that you have just cleared a few hours ago seem to have dissipated for the most part. Seems to be fine. And you are walking confidently with your friends. You have Fiera next to you, you have Eirik next to you, you have Jade next to you. No Arya, but you have made your peace with that. However, there's a different part of which you haven't quite made your peace with yet. And something that you have actively tried to ignore for the most part, since it wasn't so present most of the time. And it's the only thing that would maybe rival your consciousness than the death of your best friend, and that is the potential death of your father. The danger you have put your own family in because of the decisions that you have made. You know it can cost lives because it has cost you a life. Arya's gone. And the same thing almost happened with your father, but you've been here for so long. Who says that it hasn't already happened? And that doubt is creeping inside of your mind even more strongly. That you were focused on getting the spear and getting back, trying to deal with Calix, but in all that time, your father was almost successfully assassinated. And now you're out of the picture. So much chaos is going on. That is the perfect environment for a second attempt. And that inner voice is telling you, you had the choice to go back to your father, but you made the decision to not go there. And because of that very decision, he's now dead. And you take 2 insanity points immediately off the bat. Because that weighs quite heavy on your mind as well. Eirik, Jade, and Fiera, you're all doing fine. Tinaria and Goran also seem to be doing fine, but Veltrix is struggling quite a bit too. You can see that his eyes are like darting from left to right, his left hand is shivering. He kind of holds it. And he also has a hard time focusing on just kind of moving forward. And the same thing also happens with Israel. But you're at the beach now.
Okay.
Not doing good, guys.
Same here.
Not doing good.
I grab Isorel's hand.
See, Tanawa do the same with Ventrix.
I guess it's all or nothing, right?
I believe so.
We have to do it.
We have
I'll instinctively grab Veltrix's hand, and with Irik's hand in my other hand, I'm going to cast heroism on at level third level heroism, so that myself, Veltrix, and Eirik get heroism, and we have a little bit of a boost of courage to keep us going forward. Because I can feel us struggling.
Yep. Was that heroism? Veltrix kind of just takes in deep breaths. And he kind of just repeats to himself, otherwise it would have been for nothing. Otherwise it would have been for nothing. Otherwise it would have been for nothing. He just kind of uses his own words of encouragement to kind of move forward, take one step after the other. And so, how do you wish to proceed?
A little bit like Veltrix. Isara with her own kind of mantra, just holding firm onto Irik's hand, is gonna start moving forward, just mumbling, "They will not die in vain. They will not die in vain. They will not die in vain. They will not die in vain." And I just keep walking.
I'll follow behind. But having my own faith kind of crushed the last. Since that literally I left home, I will take out one of my last pearls. I got 2 right now, so I'll use one of them. And I'll kind of crush it in my hand, and around us 4, I'll use Fortune's Favor at 5th level, get all 4 of us. So for at least 1 hour, we'll all have a reroll available to us if we need it, as this like dust kind of just swirls around us and covers us. And I'll just follow.
And
Jade is taking very slow steps. Like she's not talking out loud, and she's like not visibly showing it, but she is terrified. Like she is like, I have to do this. Do I want to? No, but I have to. I'm scared. I don't know why, but I'm doing it. And she's just kind of saying that to her in her head. So very slow, deliberate steps.
yes.
And then when they get closer to the water, she's literally just going to run in.
Okay.
So that she doesn't stop herself.
Very well. So.
Headed toward the gate, I will point out.
Okay. So every single one of you is treading into the Lake of Atonement. Very well. Then as you put in your first step inside of the lake, it is wet, it is viscous, and it is heavy. Suddenly the scent of iron increases to an immense amount that it almost feels like you're getting struck with 2 iron rods that just get plugged inside of your nose, it is almost uncomfortable how much it smells like blood. But the next foot enters the sanguine liquids, and the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, until suddenly you are knee deep inside of this blood. And you can see that the stakes around you, you kind of have to dodge in order to go deeper and deeper, and sometimes have to weave under the infinite amount of pieces of parchments that hang here, kind of obscuring your ways in small bits, but aren't too much of a trouble to kind of dodge. You'll have to make another wisdom saving throw as you now step inside of the bloody water.
I hate this so much.
Ooh.
Oh my lord.
Come on, Ezra. Nice.
This is the lowest roll that I've had for my wisdom saves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, are you guys well? You're doing just fine. Jade. It is frightening, as you might have presumed, to step inside of a bloodied lake within hell without knowing what's on the other side. Blindingly trusting in something that you've never put your faith into. Following people you've just met a couple of days ago. Trying to do something that truly seems to be out of reach. You know you're out of your realm. And you're confident that each step you're taking is one step closer to a complete disaster. You aren't even maybe thinking about your own safety, but maybe thinking about what your ancestors left behind for you. You are the only one left. Once you are gone, your lineage has died. The weight and responsibility that you're carrying just now suddenly comes to your realization, and you're wasting it away in trying to find or do something that not even you truly understand. And this fear that you've been feeling this entire time, now it starts to show itself, and that is that you truly are not worth your lineage. Why were you the one that survived? It should have been someone else, someone more capable, someone who knows what they're doing. You are an imposter, and that's why you're here right now, suffering the consequences. And that is what the lake tells you. And you take 1 point of exhaustion. As the insanity creeps further inside, I will have to roll for the others. They're all doing okay. Now, you still continue onwards. You are knee deep inside of the lake. Everyone continues?
Jade, like, grabs her head. And she's just saying, no, no! And just, like, kind of, like, freaking out. I don't know if she can bring herself to do another step.
Isorel is going to reach out to Jade, grab her by the hand next to her face, because she's holding her head. Still holding on to Eirik, and go, we can do this. And again, heroism 3rd level. To give us a little bit of courage to keep going.
Is there any reaction this time, since we're in the lake with the spell being cast?
Doesn't seem to be any. You see some of the figures that are standing here And there are some that are this deep inside of the lake, and some that are even beyond, that just flinch a bit, but they don't seem to react more than that.
Flinch a bit. Okay, I'll test that as well, and I'll just pat Iric on the back and say, getting closer to home. And some runes will go around your head and around my head. I'll put intellect focus on me and you. And keep going.
Okay. You continue forwards and tread deeper and deeper until your hips are submerged, your abdomen are submerged, your entire body feels heavy, and now it actually becomes quite difficult to move forward. You know how running in water is difficult enough? Now imagine a fluid that is a bit more thicker than water. And so you're making your way slowly and it feels extremely uncomfortable. It is warm, which makes it even more weirder. However, at some point, you get to a point where your shoulders are now submerged. And you're only a few steps away of being completely submerged into the lake. What do you do?
Does it feel like we're getting closer to the gate? I mean, we're days away, but you know.
It feels like you're walking towards it, yes?
Does it feel like there's actually like ground under our feet, or are we kind of just walking on blood?
That is difficult to tell. How do you wish to check?
I'm just gonna like kind of stomp my feet up and down a little bit just to see if there's actual like hard resistance under my feet.
Okay, make a perception check. That is a 20. Yeah, you kind of stomp around a bit as you're moving forward. Now presumably a lot slower than before. And it seems like there is a very solid ground beneath you. A lot more solid than you might anticipate. You maybe were expecting like a bit of mud, but it feels like a extremely, almost like just a flat stone, maybe even iron surface that you're kind of walking on.
It's interesting. We've made it this far, guys.
Yep. Let's keep going. As much as I want to stop and run away, let's keep going.
I'll see you all on the other side.
Jade's just mumbling. Maybe it'll be better if I'm gone. I'm not worthy.
Okay.
And then she just takes a step forward.
So you all plunge your heads underneath the surface of the lake.
What the hell are we doing?
The first thing you notice is the incredible darkness that resides within a lake filled with blood. Maybe not too surprising. However, there is a different thing that kind of confuses you a bit, and that is a very rash sense of vertigo that comes over your mind. Almost like you just did a backflip or turned around 180, and you realize that you see a tiny bit of light. Nothing in the sense of divine, like a guiding light, but instead, as you look down at your feet, instinctively you can see almost like you're standing on top of the surface of a lake. As you realized you have turned 180 degrees around, and now your feet are at the surface of the lake, but you are submerged underneath it, and you're walking on the upside down surface of it. What do you do?
If I look around, do I see my friends next to me?
Can make a perception check. 23. As soon as a sense of vertigo hits you, and almost instinctively you just kind of try to balance yourself and place yourself on this new surface that you're standing on. Although it feels the same, as you look around, you do not see your friends anymore. No one is holding your hand. Instead, what you see, as you look down a bit closer to your reflection, in the reflection itself, coming from the other side, you see yourself on the other side, mirroring you, just on top of the surface of the lake, and you're standing beneath it. And all of you would witness this exact same thing. As if you're standing on top of a mirror, you see a reflection of yourself. What do you do?
When I look at the reflection, do I see only myself?
You see
Or do I see my... Oh, I see only myself.
I would look at myself, like really look at myself and see if something's different.
Okay. Can make a perception check. That is a 12. As you kind of look close towards it and bow down to inspect it, you can see that your reflection, as you would expect from a reflection, mimics your movements one to one. Everything your feet do, the reflection does. Everything your face does, the reflection does. It is a reflection. However, even with a 12, you can, notice that it's a bit murky in the silhouette, but maybe it has something to do with how the light fractures and you're not seeing the reflection 100% as it is, but you can't ascertain any details on the facial features or stuff like that. It seems to be more like a vague shape of who you are.
So kind of like a shadow.
Yeah, a bit more precise than a shadow. Like you can see form and stuff like that. And it has color, so it's not just completely sleek black. Like you can see the difference in skin tone and the color of your armor, for example. There is a difference.
If I focus my mind on my parents, I want to see if I hear anything, I see anything.
Okay. You focus on your parents. There doesn't seem to be any change whatsoever. However, you all can make me another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you have advantage, Eric, I think? Or is my spell active in this state?
It is still active in this state.
Okay.
Holy.
Are we all doing wisdom saves?
Yes, everyone is doing wisdom saves.
Oh, sorry.
You have
Oh no.
you have a fortune's favor.
Yep, I'm gonna use it.
Oh man, I swear, who's supposed to be the best?
Just don't roll a one, please.
I'm supposed to be the best at those, and I've rolled absolutely horrible. Good. Thank you.
Chose
You
your own fate.
all make it. However, you can notice that in whatever place and or state you are in, the effects of the lake are still very much affecting your mind.
Okay.
Feel like you can't spend too much time inside of here.
Raise yourself to the faith of the divine by seeing and fearing what lies in the dark depth from where your soul emerged. Where my soul emerged. I'm gonna try because we're upside down. I'm gonna look up and try to look at the bottom of the lake.
Yes, you do that. As you look to the top, or well, at the bottom of the lake from your viewpoint, you can see a very small, almost like something swimming in the depths there. Not as in like a fish or anything, but something that is just being moved by the current of the water, almost like a piece of paper.
Is it too far to reach out for?
Oh yeah, definitely too far to reach out for.
Oh boy. I think.
While Fear is thinking, Jade just starts to like. She goes over what she remembers from the list, and she remembered that it talked about what she's afraid to see. And so while she's looking at her reflection, she's going to, as weird as it sounds, she's going to start thinking about all of the things that she feels like she did wrong. And that she's afraid to think about.
You're looking at your reflection while you do that?
Yes.
Okay. You can see your reflection kind of mimic your body gesture, and you are thinking about all the things that you have done wrong. What do Isabel and Eric do?
The first thing Isarel would do, realizing that she's now alone, would be to sit and kind of focus on her reflection and start thinking about what Fiera has said and look at herself, thinking like, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. You gotta believe it, and you know, like kind of repeat this mantra over and over, hoping that the reflection, like talking to her, is going to talk some sense into her brain.
Okay, and finally, Eric, what do you do?
Man. I've already tried focusing on parents. goodness. Yeah, in an effort to talk myself into the idea, I'm going to start saying in my head, this is the way home. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep saying, like, this is the way home. We have to do this to get home. You know, trying to make myself feel better about that. And I'm just gonna start walking forward, whatever direction that is to me right now.
Okay. And Fiora, what did you do again? You just looked up, right?
I was trying to look for like the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, actually. Okay. This is what happens. Arik, Isra, Jade, you have to make a wisdom saving throw. Fiora, as you look up and this small piece of parchment floats away, what you see in the darkness of the depths of this lake you look towards, it's the one thing that most people are oftentimes afraid of, unknowingly. There's a second reflection of yourself inside of the darkness itself that looks on top of you, also mirroring whatever you're doing. The others, Israel, you take another point of exhaustion. As much as you are focusing on yourself, it is you who is judging you. And so you're kind of just attacking yourself from all angles now, and you're inside of a space that definitely is not helping your mind. Eirik, Jade, you are still able to stay focused, however, you are lost. You do not know what to do, and you can feel your mind still under the influence of the lake, trying to creep in further and further, increasing the worry that you might end up like the many people who are at the lake at this present moment. So what do you guys do now?
God.
I am gonna look at my reflection, or find my reflection. I'll look at it, and I'm gonna just reach my hands out to touch my own hands in the reflection to see if I create some kind of like bond to whatever I'm looking at.
Okay. I so well.
I am hesitating on the thing I want to do because it's a very Isorel thing to do. I'm just... Yeah, fuck it. In a very Isorel fashion. Because that's what Isorel does when she's upset at something. She's gonna look up to the sky and start screaming, "What do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do now?" And then realize that there's no sky above her.
Okay, Jade.
So Jade is thinking about the thing that Fiora translated for us. And she remembers that it says fear the depth and something about darkness. and she starts to remember, I've lived in darkness. I've lived in the deepest parts. There's so she's just gonna reach her hands up and like, so she's, I guess, reaching to the sky, but she's also reaching toward the depths.
Okay, interesting.
And just kind of like welcoming the darkness and all of that. It's something that she knows and that she can relate to, so she's just trying to grasp it.
Okay. Then... yeah, well, what do you do?
I think I might take some inspiration from one of the Cleric streams that I got. And kind of looking up, seeing a part of me in the darkness. I'll kind of say out in, I guess, Celestial. I know there's other versions of me out there that are much worse than me, that do terrible things. I know what I am capable of. I know of the darkness, I know of the pain I can cause, I know of the sins I can commit. I also know that if I have faith in myself and faith in those with power greater than I do, that they will try to do good with it, then better worlds can be made. So I'll just keep looking up and try to look even past that reflection to see if there's more versions of myself, even darker, knowing probably full well how terrible of things I could do with magic I could possess in different versions.
Okay. Eric, Israel, and Jade. You will have to make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm using my extra d20.
Yep, choose your own fate. Once. Eric, you have 1.2 if you want to try to choose in the future.
Yeah. Do I get to roll that with advantage again?
No, it's just one roll.
It's just one roll.
And you have to keep it.
Yeah.
Dang.
It helped all three of you. My magic helps. It does good things.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, please.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh, and you already used yours. Oh.
Oh my god.
5? 5, right? Not 6?
So,
Yep.
gonna start with Eric. You aren't a holy person. You don't even know what faith is, even though your parents had a lot of faith in the things they did and the things they hoped for you to do. And some of that faith that you understood indirectly, that your parents carried wisdom all this time, is keeping you sane at this very moment. But you feel and witness the terror of this environment and what it can do to you if you lose your faith. You have no direction. Anywhere you go, everything is covered in darkness, and the only one following you is the reflection at your feet. You are a lost child in an infinite pit, and the only thing that could save you, and that has saved many people before, the same way it saved your parents, is faith. Jade, as you try to embrace the darkness of what you are, you realize that yes, you are born within parts of darkness. You are comfortable with the absence of light. However, it is not light that you're trying to seek. It is faith. The same thing that has given power to you through your ancestors is believing in something greater than your own. And by understanding that the world beyond you is terrifying, and that you need this anchor to ground you so you can stay sane, to ground you, to give you power so you can continue on your path even though you are insignificant in comparison to the darkness that surrounds your world. You need faith to overcome these obstacles. And Isoel, as you shout into the almost empty void for help, to let someone know that you need aid, or if anyone can tell you what to do, you realize that this is the very test. That if you are put on yourself when no one can help you, there's only but one source from where you can get this help from. And that is through faith. That is the only way that you can find help. But you have lost it along the way. The same way you have lost Arya now. In the same way you have lost your parents. And probably the same way you will lose your life right now. Because you have abandoned your faith. And that is how you die. As you take another 2 points of exhaustion. Fiera. You see, as you acknowledge the terror that lies beyond your own grasp and accept that there are greater powers in yourself that can change the world for the better. That if you believe in them as well as in yourself, that there can be a significant difference that can be made. And you can feel a warmth coming from your feet and see a light coming from your feet. And as you look down towards your own reflection once again, the one that is covered in light, a beam of light seems to be coming from the other side of the lake, and your reflection does not mirror your movements anymore, but instead stay still in the position that you have acknowledged this greater power that is looking up towards the sky, but now unmoving, but now bathed in what seems to be bright white light. So I ask all of you once again, what do you do?
As I'm starting to remember, like, all of this, I kind of like sit on the water in a way. It's kind of like how my family would, like, in our, like, religious, like, honoring our ancestors, I'd sit there and I'd start thinking about my family and everything that I'm doing to better the world, and I believe in everything that they've taught me. And just remembering all of everything that they are and how my ancestors fuel me, and I believe in them and doing good.
Okay.
As I start to just believe in them.
Okay, ISOL.
Sorry. In a desperate last ditch moment of perhaps clarity, perhaps insanity, I don't know exactly how to put it. Isarel goes back to the absolute basics of everything she has always believed in, which is nature and Servalon, and how much when she trusted him, things happened, good things happened, and when she just let him do things like when she would just let him do his thing, he would intervene when it was time for it. And slowly I will wild shape into the deer form, the exact deer that Isarel has been trained to become, with the ornate silver fur and the woods that she has learned to represent her faith.
Okay, and lastly, Iwik.
Oh my god, okay. Starting to realize that I'm starting to focus on the idea that faith and religion are not the same thing. That as much as I stayed away from religion, I was still in the presence of faith my whole life, starting to realize how faith can be different for different people. So I had faith in my own skills that they would help bring me places and help, accomplish my goals. But at the same time, faith was something different to my parents. They had faith in me that I could bring them with me, and that my skills would accomplish other things, but that still meant that they had faith in me. And then fast forwarding, I witnessed faith in the sense of bringing Arya back the first time in the realm of religion, but it was still a type of faith. I witnessed faith all the time with Isarel when she goes to meditate and talks with Servalon. So I'm just starting to put together all the different ways that faith exists in my life that I just hadn't taken the time to properly absorb yet.
Do you do anything specific to kind of show this realization?
Am I able to reach into my bag and pull out my sketchbook? Is that something like I can visually interact with and stuff?
Yeah, you have everything that you have.
I'm gonna go through, and the early bits of the sketchbook, every page that has anything to do with, creating the weapons at the up in Yeshimon, anything that has to do with creating problems for the world, I'm gonna rip out of my book, and I'm going to just drop them and let them sort of float off into the blood. Anything that I have guilt for being a part of before this time frame of our game, I want to rip out and get rid of, disassociate from it.
Okay. And finally, Fiora, what do you do?
Yeah, so you described on Battlefield the person there is a glow in a light. Did they start walking?
Nope, they stood still and seemed to be looking.
Still mirroring.
It's not mirroring. It's,
What did they do?
They stopped mirroring and they kept the position of you looking up.
Oh boy. Did I start walking?
Okay, you start walking. Now. Yeah, playing God is always quite the hard decision. Yeah. Arik and Jade, you both have to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh. Flash of genius.
Oh.
I forgot
Okay.
you had that.
So. Arik,
That's me.
there's, as you're accepting what faith can mean, or what shape faith can take, your mind kind of remembers the verses that Fiora's quoted, and that it was important to see fear. Faith by itself is meaningless. It is there for a purpose. It is there to guide you when you are struck by fear. When you're left in a place where there's nothing else. When all hope has been taken. When all purpose has been stripped from your mind and you're left by yourself, the one thing you can always rely on is faith. So faith is only as important as much as you acknowledge the fear that exists within everyone's heart. Without acknowledging this fear and the purpose for why you use faith as a tool to overcome this fear, you never truly understand what this faith is capable of. It is fear that shaped men. And you understand that. You are a man shaped by your fears more than anyone else. It is, after all, what has kept you alive. The faith in your skills. The skills you relied on, that faith was there because of the fears that existed inside of your world. That no matter how much fear you felt, at least you had a tool by your side and the faith that you could use it. Jade, similar goes for you. Your ancestors were there. They built a foundation for your culture to thrive upon in a world where almost everything gets torn apart. And you have seen and witnessed it yourself. Your tribe got torn apart. Everything was stripped from you. But what is the one thing that is keeping you going right now? And that is the faith inside of them. It is through the fear that you almost got left alone, that you found the strongest faith you have ever had to your ancestors, and to cling to them as tight as possible, to know that there is still purpose in the things that they have done. It is through this fear of being lost, the fear of the world that you're being left behind to, that faith has helped you the most. The faith in your ancestors, the faith in a power greater than yours. Isorel, you go back to what actually started you on this journey in the first place. You were a person of faith. You understood that there was a problem bigger than what you could tackle, and understood that there are powers beyond you that you prayed towards to and hoped can help you, and who, in your opinion, in the right moments, did help you. Servalon is one of them. And you met many others. However, you can still feel that this acknowledgement of higher power is still incomplete. Because the one thing that you often overlook is, during your time while you were trying to find the lost shrine within the Servalon Wood, there's one emotion you felt the most while trying to find that shrine. And that is, of course, fear. But what kept you going? What is the one thing that led you out into the danger with no prior experience of survival or any sort of craft? It is your faith in Servalon and that you would find that shrine. It made you overcome this fear. Irrational, supposedly, but faithfully, 100%. And so you pursued this goal in spite of all the obvious dangers, because faith allowed you to do so. And that is the true purpose of faith. Fiera, as you take your one step, because your reflection isn't mirroring you anymore, there are no feet to hold you in your place. So as you take your one step, you fall out of the lake and you disappear. Now, Fiera, you can roll me 1d100.
Oh,
This session is intense, guys.
I'm shaking so much.
do I want do I want 100 or do I want one, Jack? Huh? What's good? What's bad?
We'll wait
Ooh,
and
I got
see.
goosebumps.
All right. Give me 50. I'll feel good for 50.
Dang, that was a
Oh,
53.
wow.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Do you consider yourself holy?
Consider myself holy. Oh boy, that is very debatable.
Obviously, I'm asking Fiera, not Matt, but
right. What does it mean to be holy? I believe Fiera is someone who thinks that there are higher powers, that they should be, understood and respected, and I think at least a good part of her is. She understands the place of a higher being and those below that should respect and, pay homage to.
And what do you think is the purpose of a holy person? Foremost, what is the purpose of a holy person?
It's kind of like a child, and like a holy person would be a child, and the person they worship is the parent. So you take after the parent's teachings.
Okay, so the purpose of a holy person is to take on the teachings of their parent, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And what teachings are that for Fiera?
To try to create a utopia for your children.
And that involves?
Boy. These are hard questions, Jack.
I know. It's a
Sunday school over here.
Trying to make the world a better place. And if you're thinking about her world, she's thinking about getting rid of demons, building better towns, getting rid of the drug problem in Azathia, building better relations with other nations, better teaching everyone about the facts of the world, letting people know that there's greater threats out there than the petty things they fight over, like borders or things like that. Preparing the world so that her children have a safer place, more educated place, better buildings, better food, better education.
Okay, so to distill it in one word, what a holy person is, what I think you're trying to say, is to be a guide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have the choice now. Do you wish, as a holy person, to guide 3 souls?
Oh. Oh boy. Yes, I'm kind of torn. And Dell has done a number on Fiera's thoughts about passing down her knowledge to someone else. But if she gives up there, then what's the point of her doing anything? Would she try again? Yeah, I think she's done pretty well. Yeah, she's willing to try.
Okay. Then, Eric, Jade, and Isorel. You see from the dark depths above you a light. And suddenly a hand forms out of the darkness, made out of light. And you can see a silhouette that resembles a person you know reaching it out. Fiera. do you grab her hand?
In an instant, like as quick as I possibly can.
I am galloping towards that hand as fast as I can.
Oh, I get a hoof.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Jade is like she's taken a second. Like she's not as eager as the other two because she knows that she's the new person of the group. But she also knows that they've been there for her. So she's slow to take Fierre's hand, but she does. It is her way of showing faith that other people can be there for her. She doesn't have to be alone.
Very well. Then as soon as you grab her hand, you get her hand. We do not discriminate. You see and feel once again the sense of vertigo, almost of if, Fierre is judo throwing you out of this dark place. As you do kind of a somersault flip, you stand before, and including you, Fierre, and you kind of instinctively feel that you guided your friends towards this place as you stand in front of the large, towering walls. And not only the walls, specifically, you stand in front of the gate that you have seen from so far away, seeing a vista of the gate itself standing before you. And that is where we're gonna end today's session.
I'm a fucking deer in front of the gates.
Oh boy. I might have to multi-class the cleric. I don't think I can. I don't think I have enough wisdom. Oh boy, that was a tough one. Well, for you three, I think I got an A+.
This session was so terrifying. Like, I was over here just like freaking out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I felt like throwing up a couple times.
Yeah. Well, you survived it. Luckily.
I barely survived it.
Close.
I have never rolled so bad in my entire life.
Yeah, it was incredible that you were the one.
It was
Yeah.
so bad.
She has the highest wisdom.
He got two
Wait, so
natural.
hold on. We have a deer with 0 movement.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have 5 exhaustion.
I have 5
3
exhaustion.
hit points.
Oh my
Disadvantage on
gosh.
everything.
We have a deer with. I didn't even think about that.
You have a deer with no movement.
And half health.
And disadvantage on everything.
Yep.
Yep. Basically,
Yep.
Ellen body one stage away of
From death.
absolute. Well, it's insanity, so she wouldn't quite be dead. However, basically dead.
Can we just imagine for a second all of these people walking around the blood lake and then this deer just appears and there's just this insane deer walking around with them?
Stalking.
Listen, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang, okay?
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah, kind of went like how I thought with, because I assumed we'd have to do something all on our own, and that would be tough for those not of the lichnius.
yeah. I would say you were carrying quite a bit but that was kind of to be expected. Yeah, at least one of you had to make it through and then prove themselves as a holy person and the guide to be able to get the other ones out. So
Had like this gut feeling that it was Fiera was gonna do something like this
Oh yeah.
the whole time. Like I was just like, we're going into this holy thing. Like this is gonna be like Fiera's time to.
Yep. Time to shine.
Yeah, this is Fiera's moment to show that she can help people. I didn't know how, like obviously, but I just going into the session, I was like, Fiera's gonna have a moment where she's gonna have to decide if she wants to help us or not.
Yeah. I honestly, I really struggled with that one. I was like, things have gone badly before. But then what's the point if you don't keep trying?
yeah, theoretically any one of you could have done it, but seems like Fiera was the one in the end to pull you out the depths of hell, or at least the depths of atonement.
Ooh.
Yeah, and now you're in front of a big wall with a big gate looking like a cathedral.
Oh god. Do we have 3 other people? You know, just
We won't know until next session.
For that, you will have to watch next week's episode to find out if they once again have abandoned the adventuring party. But this time, not deliberately. Yeah. So excited to see them continue. Almost. Well, you're finally at the other side of the gate. That's dope. That's good. Mini heart attacks on the way. That's okay. That's fine. Everyone is kind of still alive.
Kind of.
And yeah, that's it. That's it from us. So we're gonna say goodbye for now. Let these lovely players detox for a bit, and catch you guys next week. Bye.